meeting will now come to order. So this
March,
we will be starting the first
full season.
Yeah. All right, so the government has asked us to babysit the nation's
Gamers.
so their parents can become more productive workers. So we need to lay down some
Patch notes.
Why don't we start off with what
we removed from the game?
Oh, what about
Duo queue?
That'll really piss off the
gamers.
Okay. Don't know about your motives, but sounds good.
All right, listen, okay? Before everybody starts freaking the fuck out and you think I'm making a video about how Ironmace sucks and I hope they all die and fuck you, SDF, you killed my mom. Okay, we're just having a little laugh, all right? Just funny, okay? Haha. The Korean guy mistranslated something and it said the wrong day or like the wrong word, and now the entire community thinks that the game is coming to Fortnite and there's gonna be a battle pass, all right? Haha, very funny. I know you ADD fucks, you can't pay attention to anything. So put up like Subway Surfers on the screen over here and Peter Griffin holding his knee laughing. Peter Griffin. I'm just gonna put gameplay so you know it'll be in the background, okay? But let's talk about this. All right, the game it's been a mess. It's been a mess. It's been all over the place. And SDF, he loves to type in chat and talk about all these ambitions that he has because he's very optimistic. He's a very ambitious developer. Really wants a lot from his team. He's always trying to do the next thing. But they obviously set goals for themselves that they can't attain. Now, there was a recent video by Wrath of Koopa, which I'll link, and maybe we'll throw it up on the screen real quick here. You should definitely check that out. He actually got a visual response from Ironmace Games, their official YouTube account, where they said that they were actually finished working on their Sev 1, Severity 1 project team, where they would have their most important engineers responding to the most important incidents as they come up during testing. And this was a huge win because we got a massive performance increase as soon as that patch went live. I mean, if you've played the game at all in the last month and compare it to how it was 2 or 3 months ago, it's night and day. I mean, it's still got problems, don't get me wrong, and it feels like it's getting a little bit laggier again, but it's actually playable now, and I don't just die to some bullshit lag or rubber band or falling through the map or whatever like 7 times a day. It's better. There's still plenty of problems, and we're going to talk about that. Server connection terminated abnormally. Yeah, you've seen that one. But they have actually delivered, okay? They said they were going to fix the stability and the server performance. It only took them 5 months, but they did it. All right? They said they were going to put out the Ice Caves. They did it. They said they were going to put out Druid. I don't know about that one, but, you know. 5 months. We'll give it 5 months. But let's talk about that communication, because I think it is, without a doubt, the #1 reason why Darker Darker is in the state it's in, and the #1 reason that they get the rap that they do. Their communication is not great. Okay, there's a number of reasons for that. They're a small company. They rely on volunteers to sort through a vast majority of it. They rely on feedback from the player base, which you people are not very good at giving feedback. I'll be honest with you, if you read the Reddit, there's a lot of just bullshit in there. And God, do not go to the Discord. It is hell. I swear, it is the worst. But it does bring up an interesting point, which is that they've chosen a really interesting way to divulge their communication over the course of the game's lifespan, be it through podcasts, Q&As, or more recently, the One Peg interview. Now, nothing against One Peg. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But there was a little tidbit that popped up in there that I thought was very interesting. And some of you might know what I'm talking about. Towards the end of the interview, in a Q&A section, while he was talking to the chat, there was somebody that mentioned the voice chat exploit. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, which if you're watching this video, I'm assuming you probably do. But if you don't, there was an exploit, which I think might still exist in the game, where if you have proximity chat enabled, there's a little proximity chat icon that pops up over your character portrait that only pops up if you're within the vicinity of another player that can hear you. So, as you might imagine, this is sort of a way to tell if you're in danger, theoretically. If there's another player near you, if they're in earshot, you get an icon to let you know that somebody's nearby. Is this straight up cheating? Well, no, not really, but it's something that we've known about for a really long time. But during the interview, when it was brought up, Terry said, wow, this is the first time we've heard of this. We'll get to work on this right away. And I was like, what? The first time? Dude, we've known about this for 5 months. And I know people have reported this before now. You can't tell me this is the first time you've heard about this. And this is not the first time that something like this has happened. There have been things that got reported that took months and months to resolve or have still gone unresolved because Ironmace doesn't know about them, which is just kind of confusing to me. For a game like this, where it's so volatile and everything is changing constantly, it feels like communication should be one of the most important aspects. We need to have a better way for us to understand what the developer's intent with the game is, and also be able to tell them about the game-breaking issues in a way that doesn't just get drowned out by another suggestion board or the Dark and Darker Reddit, whatever it is. Communicating to your audience with a language barrier like that is obviously not easy, okay? I don't speak any language but English. If I was asked to do what he's doing, I would probably fuck it up too. So we can't really pin the blame solely on him, but it does come a bit down to the execution and strategy of communication. Now, I mentioned SDF talking to One Peg earlier. He's also been on the Darkest Hour podcast with Soma and Jay. We've seen him talking to various community members throughout the game's lifespan, and every time we all sort of walk away with the same feeling of, why is the communication being delivered this way and not just done through an official channel from Ironmace? Something that you can go to reliably for the news every single time and know that what you're getting is the most up-to-date official information from the lead developers of the game. Some of you may know who So Bad Strange is. He released a timeline video, and we're going to ignore the fact that he didn't give me credit for the little synopsis I posted in our group chat for the podcast last night. But he was just making a video trying to digest the information that was given to us by the developer, not in an official channel, but just in Gen Chat that got buried, not pinned, not posted anywhere. He created a nice little timeline to organize the thoughts, make some speculation about what was presented to us, what it could mean for the way the game is going to play, new features that are going to get added, and try to give you an idea of when you can expect those things to come to the game. And So Bad is not the first person to do that. He's also not a bad guy for trying to do that, because this is a service that is desperately needed by the community that can't all spend 24/7 on Discord looking for every single message from the developer. And while it's good for content creators to be able to give their thoughts and feedback and sort of speculation on things, having content creators be the only way for people to actually get that news is not really a good look, especially for Ironmace when we've made so many changes in such a short amount of time and walk things back, and information sort of conflicts with other information. We need a place where we can actually have an official channel for all of this and know what to expect. Now, I talked a little bit before about One Peg and Soma, Jay Griffith, all of them. You notice that when they do these interviews, they tend to ask very kind of softball questions. There were some questions in there that were kind of like, hey guys, what's up? What's going on with this? But they're trying to maintain a relationship with the developers. Their livelihood depends on the success of this game and their relationship with the developers. They don't want to bury that 6 feet under, and you're an asshole if you think that they're wrong for doing that, because you would do the same thing if you were in their shoes. But I'm not monetized. I don't give a fuck. I'll ask them those questions all day, every day, and I know plenty of people in the community who would do the same thing. But we shouldn't have to get to a point where we have to be like the bad guys and play good cop, bad cop with them, and get them to answer these hard questions before they finally actually do something about it and make official statements. I will say one more time that I think communication is the thing that they need to focus on the absolute most, and put everything else, not development-wise, but presence-wise, as a secondary. They need to have a little bit more of a front-facing presence with the community. They need to be more forward with what their design intents are for the game, so that people understand what the long-term plan of the game looks like. When things like duos get removed in the short term, yes, of course, we know that this is being done because the player base isn't big enough yet until it goes to Steam to support this kind of thing. So now we're going to get matchmaking instead. But what's this? We got normal APs, then we get loadouts for normals. There's matchmaking for normals, so you can queue up with random party members. Are we becoming a Fortnite Battle Royale? Am I going to get the chicken dinner? What the hell is going on here, SDF? Talk to us, man. This is ridiculous. Dark and Darker, if you've been following it for any length of time, you know it has had a very tumultuous development cycle, between legal troubles, being taken off of Steam, the early access release before they were clearly ready for it, and this, that, and the other thing. There's just a lot of obstacles that have been in their way. But the one thing that doesn't have to be a problem is communication. And my biggest advocacy for this is to just stop using single community members and rotating through them to try to get the information across to people because they have a platform. Just make an official YouTube channel and start releasing some content for people to sit down and go, oh, this is what's going through our developer's head. this is our breakdown. I mean, there's been a million other developers who have interviews with games journalists that come into their offices and get to see what the process is like and hear from the developers talking about their game. Why is this so difficult for Ironmace to emulate? The truth is that it's not. They just need to actually put forth the effort. I think doing this would smooth over a lot of the issues that the game has right now, because a lot of the problems that we run into are speculation and perception based. So again, I don't want to make this video go on forever. I've said the same thing a few too many times at this point. I just want to wrap up by saying content creators are doing their jobs. They're trying their best to get the information to people, but the blame should really go onto Ironmace for not having better communication. And I think if Ironmace understood how much that communication could smooth things over, we would have a much better relationship with the developer, and expectations wouldn't be so wild and all over the place. Sure, Druid came out a lot later, well, it's still not out, but Druid's coming out a lot later than it originally was supposed to, and we did get a decent explanation for that. Well, we had some struggles with the shape-shifting, and the Warlock was sort of the first entry that. Now, we fixed it, but it got delayed again, so why is that? Talk to us, okay? Ironmace, that's all we want. Just talk to us. And on the community end, I have to tell you guys, you gotta relax, you gotta chill out, because people can kill video games. Communities can destroy video games, okay? Just take a fucking chill pill, okay? It's just a video game. Play something else. I understand that Ironmace has made several fuck-ups, and they are not absolved of sin. They've definitely done a lot of really stupid shit over the course of development of this game, doubling back on things, overloading the project pipeline, making really weird decisions, but I think a lot of that comes down to the back and forth communication between the community and them just not understanding where the disconnect is. There's definitely more to talk about as far as the complexity of the game, what their objectives are, whether we're going to get a PvE mode or something like that. But for now, let's just get that line of communication open, okay? That's it. I stream twitch.tv/Odincast Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6:30 Central Time. Come check it out. Come talk to me in chat so I don't get bored and stop streaming. It's a vicious cycle. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.